Welcome to Tough Crowd. A lot going on, folks. Well, not that much, but I just thought I'd get you excited. And I can see it worked. Now look, Kobe and Shaq are fighting again. Kobe, you don't want to get into any arguments right now, okay? They're trying to goad you. The reporters are like, hey, Shaq said you're a bull hog. You just have to be like, ha, I am. He's right. He said you're overrated. Ha, Shaq, he's crazy. It's like Goodfellas. We got to have calm now. You understand? Got to have calm. He's got enough trouble, Kobe, keeping his hot Puerto Rican wife from stabbing him in his sleep at this point, you know? Oh, she's hot. Sharpton and Dean are fighting. Al Sharpton and Howard Dean. Sharpton said Dean was anti-black today. How could you accuse a man who spent most of his life in Vermont of not being for black people? That's ridiculous. He obviously loves to see black people on TV. Brad Pitt and Jennifer, they plan to visit the Middle East on a private peace mission. They said they think most people in the region want, like, peace and a negotiated settlement and want to be happy. Let me explain something. Not everyone thinks this. If you're beautiful, rich, and nice like you two, yes, of course you like peace. If you're ugly, broke, depressed, you don't really care that much about peace, you know? In fact, you could probably get just as much pleasure from seeing somebody you hate get killed as you would from world peace, you know? I'd go a step further. If you were happy and there was world peace and you saw your enemy was happy, you'd be unhappy. Okay, besides, the Middle East is safer than L.A., so they're not that brave with those fires. Those fires are scary. It all started because of the no smoking laws, you know. Ever since that, they let all the people go up in the hills and smoke, and then look what happens. And I think, I'll tell you exactly what happened with those fires, and this is the truth. God, everyone tried to be slick, take God out of the 10 Commandments, the courthouse, the Pledge of Allegiance. This is God's way of saying, hey, everybody, I still got my fastball, you pagan bastards. Well. Last election, the important voting block was the soccer moms. Now there's a new one called NASCAR dads. Now, do you think there was such a thing as a voting block, or is this just more racial profiling by the media, Patrice? Got nothing?
Well, I mean, here's my thing. What are white people trying to find a new name for the KKK? What, the Grand Wizard? The Grand Wizard of Monster Trucking? Will white guys stop it? Will you just stop trying to be victims and trying to find a new way to be white? No one cares about NASCAR. No one cares about...
The Mexicans probably love this. They love stuff like that.
Yeah, it just stinks.
Well, they got to have something to do in between picking lettuce. So, you know, let them do what they got to do.
You're wearing a Giants jersey. Today I heard, you know, he's a Philadelphia Italian. Skinny Joe Molino. Did you hear about this mob guy in Philly? His wife was sleeping with one of the Giants.
Joe Molino's wife?
What, is he a friend of yours? I thought it was like a mob guy. It's like, hey, Joey's wife.
Joey's wife?
Yeah.
She stooped the Giant?
It was a big scandal today. It was in the paper.
She's done. She's in the river, that bitch.
Oh, well,
he's a Bhutan.
Greg, what about you? Do you think anyone likes NASCAR? Why do people like NASCAR?
Well, tons of people like, you know, blue-collar white guys just want to have something that's theirs. You know, I think that's why all these like Monster Garage shows and all those shows are so popular now, because, you know, let's face it, you know, there's not a lot of white athletes, there's not a lot of white people on TV to look up to doing anything cool, and that's not one thing they do well.
Yeah.
Although it's really only...
There's no white people to look up to on TV?
No, like sports athletes are heroes, you know, it's
saying like
there's no white hero?
Shut up for a second.
There's no whites. You know, most of the athletes, you know, it's just...
There's hardly any whites left.
And even this is getting pretty...
You got George Bush, what are y'all talking about?
But even NASCAR is going to eventually... Let's face it, black people tend to be better athletes. They're taking over all the sports. And even NASCAR, it's only a matter of time, because NASCAR...
Black people ain't doing NASCAR driving, because if black people drive NASCAR, the police will be right on the track trying to pull them over, all right?
Yeah, but that's
not going to happen.
That's how NASCAR started. That's how NASCAR started. Bootleggers running away from the cops, and you guys are good at that. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's only a matter of time.
Exactly. I know as a black man, I'm good at bootlegging.
I thought that was the Africans that did the bootlegging.
No, it does give white kids a chance to do something with their money. You know, because it's like they can't compete in sports anymore, right? I mean,
they can't.
They can't. They try.
Foreign whiteys.
Look,
they pretty good.
Yugoslavians can play some.
It's these lazy American whites that can't play sports no more.
That's right.
Well, you seem to keep yourself in tremendous condition. But...
Let me tell you something. Colin, I don't like the way you didn't defend me on this one. This is street muscle. This ain't fat. This is from getting bit by dogs and chased by cops. This is all hard.
Bit by dogs. I think that should be the name of your comedy album. Bit by dogs and chased by cops. Well, it wasn't funny.
That's what were you being chased by cops while eating a dozen donuts?
Jesus.
Hey.
Now wait,
I'm saying my self-esteem.
Leave him alone.
But don't you think... I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll say one thing about NASCAR. It's the only place you can proudly fly a Confederate freak flag and nobody bust your balls. Now listen.
Good point.
Oh, I break out my old linen skinny shirt from the 70s.
Oh, gee, thanks.
See, NASCAR is just like, ugh.
Well,
NASCAR, I don't know.
NASCAR people do love it. And it's proof that if you have enough
popular it is.
beer in you, anything is fun. Like, what have you been watching all these years?
Well, look. Let's talk about Slick Rick, the rapper who's English.
Is that why he got this?
That's not why I have an eye problem.
I thought Jeff Gordon had a patch on his eye now. So.
Jeff Gordon.
I thought we were going to talk about Musha Diane.
Oh, now listen.
I thought it was a bad Dale Earnhardt joke myself.
Now, Slick Rick is English. He's in INS jail trying to fight deportation. After 9/11, the INS began enforcing immigration laws for convicted foreigners. So, now the problem is if we let him stay, all the lawyers will use it as precedents. But should we just cut him a little slack because his case is exceptional? Ed, you know Slick Rick.
Slick Rick is a good guy.
He's a people person. I love
Slick
that.
Rick is here in jail in
Right.
Florida. But 50 Cent can run around and do what the hell he wants. That don't make no sense to me.
Now you know 50 Cent, right? I mean, not
Yeah.
50, Slick.
Yeah,
So is he? I mean, is he?
Did you not
is
hear
he
me say that?
sociopath
Stupid.
or is he? Should he
I
be
mean,
locked
come on,
up?
everybody
Wait a minute.
got something in their past. So what? He shot his cousin. So what?
But he shot his cousin.
cousin.
He shot his cousin on Boston Post Road. He was trying to rip money off from him. I'm old and I'm from New York. That's why I was so proud that I remember the streak.
It really is heartbreaking to see such a good guy in jail because I grew up with Slick Rick. You know, my family, that's what we follow. A lot of Italian families listen to Sinatra, all that crap. Slick Rick and
Slick Rick, not Rick Springfield.
Slick Rick and
Rick.
Request Laws. All right, listen to me. A new study from the Washington Post says that people with names like Taisha and LaQuisha are less likely to get resume responses than people with names like Courtney and Chad. Great.
Well, they did this thing, like they sent out like 750 black named resumes and 750 white names on the resume,
Sure.
and the blacks were less likely to get reactions, right? Which, on the one hand, does look a little creepy and everything.
Sure.
But on the other hand, you got to look at the bright side. You think just a couple years ago, you couldn't have found 750 black people with a resume.
Well,
I'm saying a couple years.
now let me
You
ask you
still
this.
mad about the white people can't play basketball joke, ain't you?
Listen to this.
The white people can't
He
play
doesn't
basketball
care.
joke just hurt you right in your heart.
He's a Mexican.
No.
Oh, he's a Mexican?
He's a Mexican. Now listen.
No Mexicans got resumes.
Greg,
You don't need a resume to pick grapes. It's okay.
Listen to me.
I'm trying to look at the
Can I
positive.
please say something?
Go ahead,
First of all,
Cleophas.
I mean, it's your
what'd you
show.
call me?
Cleophas.
What's Cleophas?
That's a black man's name, Cleophas.
Well, what about Colin? It's a beautiful Irish name. Do you care? Listen, here's my point. Is that I always thought like the black names thing, honestly, until a few years ago. I thought it was like an accident, like Anthony Hardaway. Like I thought it was supposed to be Anthony and then say Anthony, and then the nurse wrote it down as Anthony.
But see now,
Is that true about a
black
lot of the
people.
names?
First of all, black people. Wait a minute, black people did figure out how to have these so-called white names like Cindy. Except for we will, to keep it real, we'll spell it SYNDE with
Right.
2 slashes over the E. To keep it African or whatever, because we understand that
sometimes it's just cruel. I mean, I used to teach grade school, and I had a kid named Totem Odom. That's what
A black kid?
Yeah.
I have a friend that has a niece named Bartasia. That is the worst name.
We'll be right back.
And
Now, Forbes came out with a list of the 10 richest dead people that make money while they're still dead. Elvis Presley, John Lennon, Tupac, Dale Earnhardt, all these people. And so we're going to be talking about that. I don't know what we're going to say. I don't know why I started it that way, but I also think the poorest dead celebrities, which people don't talk about, you got number 1 was Millie or Vanilli, whichever one died. Number 2 was Dana Plato, and she got shot at robbing a liquor store. I don't know. And number 3 was whoever dies next from the cast of 8 Simple Rules, because that show's not going to last. Well, I'm just saying, because that's actually well.
really are trying to keep that show on the air, too.
What's the matter?
You think they're trying to keep it on because they think it's a good show, or because it's like they actually have a heart or a conscience that they're trying to keep 8 Simple Rules on the air without John?
If they had a heart of conscience, they never would have put that show on in the first place. Ed, what do you think about this? Ed, come on.
I just think it just shows how America is, man. Come on, Tupac is making more money dead than he was alive.
Yeah.
And Tupac's not dead. Everybody knows that. You know that, Patrice.
And neither is Elvis.
Yeah, Elvis. Neither is the Hobbit dude.
I think it's got to suck when your manager's telling you, you're not, David Bowie or somebody making a comeback. I got 10 dead guys that are doing better than you. That's how well you're doing.
Greg.
What can we say? This is depressing as hell. We're alive. We're combined. We barely make a tenth of Marilyn Monroe.
Damn it, he's right.
And George Harrison. Now, how's the guy from Love at First Bite?
That's George Hamilton.
Hamilton.
All right, look.
Hamilton!
Speaking of celebrities.
How come Abe Vigoda ain't on that list? Barney Miller.
He'll be on my list. Brad and Jennifer and other Hollywood celebrities are going to visit the Middle East to try to solve the complex Middle East problems. Isn't it well-intentioned but naive, Dom, to think that everybody thinks like you?
They're going to go over and stuff. Well, I would think, first of all, I imagine Taxi and Friends are very popular in Palestine. Hey, Mom, before I strap on these bombs, can I watch Taxi one more time?
Actually...
I don't write my own stuff.
Well, if you watch, first of all, if you watch Friends, you realize that Rachel's not really the peacemaker.
Good point.
Holy Christ, I never thought I could top your bomb with a word.
I know. We're talking about bombing. Patrice, bail us out. Come on.
I'm not going to bail. I'm going to strap one of your jokes to myself and run through Palestine.
Nobody has any respect.
We were talking about before the show about the celebrities, because everybody says, I love when people say he's a nice guy, he's down to earth.
Right.
Like Springsteen. A friend of mine met Springsteen. He goes, man, Springsteen, he's a great guy. I love Springsteen. He goes, but shouldn't he be a nice guy? Shouldn't he be the nicest guy you met all month? Shouldn't he be low five and high five? You know who should have an edge to him? Pepe, the 60-year-old arthritic busboy. The reason why he should be a little cranky at lunchtime, not some celebrity.
It's true. Now, speaking of rich people, what about this reality rich shows? All these shows on. Did you watch this stuff last night anyway?
Jesus
Look at this guy. Ready? Here's one rich kid from one of those rich kid shows.
I'm up at boarding school, and this kid's from like some town in Connecticut. I don't know. I can just say, F you, I'm from New York. I can buy your family. Piss off.
What? You like
I
that?
just thought that was great. I'd love to be able to say that to somebody's family.
No, he said he could buy his family.
Yeah, that would be fantastic
What
to
do
be
you
able to say
think
that
of
to
that
somebody.
I can't believe you're wearing a sweater with a hood.
I wear this a lot. I don't see what's wrong with it. It's actually one of my signature pieces, I believe.
It is a good one. You should give him more credit for that little Brown Riding Hood. That sweater stinks.
Little Brown Riding Hood. I don't know how the subject changed from rich people to my lovely attire, but
I'm just saying. I wish I knew. I wish I was born to know what it was like to be able to even think about saying that to somebody and be serious. I'll buy your family. Whatever.
Right. Patrice, all he gonna do, he's saying that to other little rich white people that probably got a little less money than he does. He ain't saying that to nobody black, because we always can fall back on, and I'll break your ass in half. That's black people answer to everything. What? I will break your ass in half.
That's right. All right. You go catch up on the latest goods and services. I'll stay here alone with these people. You know what? This is what I think of Greg Giraldo right here. Now listen, in 2 weeks, California will face the reality of living under Governor Schwarzenegger. Now, I know everybody has their little jokes about this, but who knows? It might turn out pretty well. Of course, it might also be a disaster. Let's find out. Using incredible new technology, we can actually talk to both possibilities live from the future of California. So, welcome best case scenario guy. Hello.
Oh, hey, Cohen! It's another great day here in California.
And worst case scenario guy. Hello.
Hola, Colin.
All right. So, Schwarzenegger didn't work out, huh? Worst case?
This whole thing was all about publicity for him. That was obvious from day one when he sent his stunt double to the inauguration.
Well, what was the problem?
Well, no one has ever told a man no. He thought he could just wield his celebrity clout and all our problems would magically go away. But let me tell you something. You don't cure a terrible disease by just saying, hasta la vista, AIDS.
Well, how are things there in the best case? Best case?
Great! Lots of jobs, prosperity, sun, and rides for the kids. Arnold has turned California into the country's first theme state.
Oh, what happened to that big budget crisis?
Let me give you 2 words, Colin. European investors. Once Arnold was elected, the donations just started pouring in. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many Swiss and Germans love movies like Twins. And their horrendous taste is now our reward.
We haven't had any outside investors since the fighting began. After the economy collapsed, we had a revolt. Or, as Arnold called it, Civil War II, Rise of the Mexicans.
Oh, that's terrible. That's tough.
I know. And now California is 2 states. We got the northern part with Schwarzenegger controls to the north. It's called Planet California. And here's where I am now. New Mexico.
And who's your governor down there? Is Cruz Bustamante?
Nah, he was killed by a gang of desperados. No one is really sure who is running it now, but some say it is a man with 4 fingers, known as Giraldo.
Oh, my Lord. Now, is it dangerous there for you, best case?
Come on, Colin. California is the safest, healthiest state in the country. Not only is smoking illegal here, but so is being fat.
Come on, that can't be true.
It is true. None of our children are obese thanks to Arnold's mandatory supplements and all school lunch programs. I mean, look at my son, Colin. He's ripped.
I admit that kid is pretty impressive. And that, hey, worst case, there are still a few jobs left out there, though, right? You still got tourism, farming.
Well, that all died up years ago. Our main industry is now tchotchkes.
Yiddish?
I don't know. But this is Senor Pepe. I made him for you, Colin. $1 in his jaws.
Come on.
Or a peso?
Oh,
I mean,
no.
anything. I'm a help me, please.
Back in the hotel. No thanks, worst case. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Here's what bugs me. You know what my problem's always been, and people said this for many years at the cellar, even Keith, who's one of the underlings, said it. You guys, I let you guys get too familiar, you and the rest of them, where you compare me to no names going on tour. When I go to Baghdad, I go like the legend. Like that legend.
I don't
So don't stand there with this nonsense.
No names. You're talking about Drew Carey.
No, we weren't talking about Drew Carey. That's on the show. I'm talking about what we talk about off camera.
And Carrot Top is a way bigger name than you.
Shut up, and nobody said Carrot Top.
He's got those commercials.
I really hate this. All right,
I don't get that familiar with you, Colin, because I'm a much stronger stand-up.
Well, I guess that was definitely true at one time. In the last presidential election, it was the soccer moms this year. Now it's the NASCAR dads. What's another demographic that politicians should be courting, and why? Dom?
I think politicians should go after the Latinos. We are the largest minority in the U.S. I say we because although I may be Italian now, I'm switching over in order to be a more popular comedian. Hey, President Bush, Pollo Loco, Viva Zapata, yo, mommy.
I'd love her.
I think the politicians should be courting the Irish in New York City. All they have to do is move the election to the same day as the St. Patrick's Day parade and put free beer, Lucky Charms in every voting booth. That's at least 2 million voters who won't remember who they voted for the next day or the day after.
All right. Patrice O'Neill.
All right, we should court certified hookers. That would be a great demographic. Most likely, when she agrees to give a little piece of her vote, the bitch ain't gonna change her mind at the polls the next day. Nothing. Hold up, should we read that again, y'all? That's what y'all gave that?
Shut up.
All right, now
the ending's at the beginning. That's if I can see it from here.
What happened?
If you flip that last line at the beginning, they would have understood the other.
Go down again.
Flip that line at the end.
Wait a minute. Most likely, we'll keep going. Most likely, when she agrees to give a little piece of her vote, the bitch ain't gonna change her mind at the polls all of a sudden. Y'all don't even get that. You know what? Kiss my ass.
Here's Greg Giraldo.
Well, we got the soccer moms and the NASCAR dads, and I think the next group will be the cockfighting baby daddies. You know, they're angry, and they'll support any candidate willing to fight these oppressive child support laws. Anyone will say, I feel your pain. Condoms are for punks. If she didn't want to get knocked up, she shouldn't have worn that tube top. It's your money. Why should it get pissed away on baby formula when you got your eye on a chrome tailpipe for your sport bike? Besides, that baby don't even look like you.
Well, folks, that's our show. Good night.